Happy Friday, Bears fans. Welcome into Chicago Bears Now. My name is Harrison Graham. Caleb Williams sounding off on the pivot with Ryan Clark, Fred Taylor, and Channing Crowder. They do a show together, and Williams spoke to them for about an hour today. I thought it would be a good show to react to. 4 or 5 things that I found interesting as he is set to become a Bear in just 6 days. Perfect time for you guys to subscribe to the channel. Whatever news is out there, whatever rumors are floating around this football team, we got you covered here on Bears Now. So hit that subscribe button. It's 100% free. We're going to continue to plug out content here on a daily basis. All right, so Williams joined Clark and his crew on the pivot. Clark, of course, also working for ESPN, and I thought he had a lot of interesting stuff to dive into here. I'm not going to react to literally the whole interview. Like I said, it was over an hour long, but 4 or 5 things that I think are pretty interesting. I think the first one of that I think is somewhat noteworthy is what his reaction and really where he was and what he was thinking when Justin Fields got traded. And I think something that caught my attention is how much I think it caught his attention. And what I mean by that is he said when it went down, first of all, not to be surprised, his phone completely went nuclear. He was getting updates from ESPN, friends, family. Yo, you see this? You see that? Oh my God, they're going to draft you, yada, yada, yada. And he, I think he's not surprised that the Bears are going to draft him. It's been a goal of his to go number one. That's been his expectation. I think he knows that was where this was heading. But I think he was like, okay, they're serious, because here was his quote. He said, I didn't do my top 30 visit yet. They didn't have my medicals yet. It was just so unexpected in that instance. So I think he kind of thought, well, they'll just wait until after I visit and make sure they check that final box. But he kind of sat there and said, "Whoa, they're already serious about me. Like I'm who they want." So I think that was kind of cool to hear him react to that, and just that was probably the moment. Like, all right, this is happening. This is going to be our partnership, and this is where I'm going, and this is who's going to beat me. The 1% chance of them trading down and keeping Justin or whatever, that is now out the window. And he did go on to say, by the way, he had a great 30 visit, good time, all that stuff. So that's good as well. We've heard a lot of reporting on that, but to hear him say it, I think is obviously a positive as well. And I think, I think building off of that, he also talked about his NFL goals. And this quote, I think, should get Bears fans really excited. I know I'm excited. He said, I want to play at one place for 20 years. That'd be nice. Bears have not had a quarterback play for 10 years in most cases. Jay Cutler was here about a decade, so there have been a couple. But I want to play at one place for 20 years, chase one guy, number 12, talking about Tom Brady. I want a place that loves ball. That's all I've heard about Chicago so far. And he had kind of alluded to that before about, hey, the main thing I've heard about Chicago and Bears fans is how passionate they are, and I want to play for a city that cares. And he's going to get that in Chicago. Maybe during the college football season or early on in the process, if there are any slight concerns about certain things with the Bears, the lack of history at quarterback, this and that, keeping Matt Eberflus, whatever, theories were out there. I think one thing that has always been true and is definitely true is how passionate this fan base is. Like, this fan base cares so much about the Bears and is starving for success. We are. And this guy wants to provide that. He wants to win at the highest level. Don't believe me? He showed Ryan Clark and them the screensaver on his phone. And here is what it said. Basically just some notes and some quotes. In big, bold letters, don't get bored with consistency. I love that. Basically, it's like, hey, every single day, you got to go through your routine, and you can't make shortcuts. The next line said, discipline equals doing what you hate to do, but doing it like you love it. Like, hey, you may not always want to get up at 4 or 5 a.m. and go work out and go lift or, do this, do that. But you want to be great, that's what it takes. This third one, bottle between me, not you. You're just in the way. I'm not sure whose quote that is, but he had that in there. This next one said, put your DNA on a team, lead them to a championship. That's a Kobe Bryant quote that he put in there. The next one says, fuck everybody, go kill. And look, that kind of goes back to painting his Utah or his fingernails, F Utah, which I didn't necessarily love. I don't think you need to disrespect your opponent, but at the same time, it's like this guy's going to slightly rub people the wrong way and be the ultimate competitor. I'm perfectly fine with it. I mean, that's kind of that Tom Brady mentality, right? Just an absolute killer. And this team certainly could use someone like that. Couple goals at the bottom, first pick in the draft. That one's going to be there, checked off very shortly, obviously. And then the next one, Super Bowls times 8. Again, chasing Tom Brady, who has 7 Super Bowls. He wants to top that, of course, and that's a lofty goal, but he wants to win. And he was asked about team goals versus individual goals, and he said ultimately it's about the team goals. But if you reach those team goals, those individual goals fall under that bucket and will likely be reached as well. Like if you're a team that's consistently in the mix of competing for a Super Bowl, good chance you're going to be in the MVP conversation. Good chance you're going to have a chance to win Super Bowl MVP, be atop the league in passing yards, etc. So he understands that it all works together. He, of course, was asked about the Patrick Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers comparisons, and look, nobody's perfect. He is a big Aaron Rodgers guy. I think more so in play style than anything else. And hey, nothing wrong with that. We all hate Aaron Rodgers here on this show, but the guy knows how to play quarterback a little bit, as painful as it is to say. But he was asked about being comp to those guys, and he said, look, it makes you feel good. I may mimic my game after different guys, trying things that Patrick Mahomes does, trying things that Tom Brady does, sitting back, watching and learning, taking in what I can take in and what I can adapt to my game and make it my own. Some of it may look like what Pat does and what Aaron Rodgers does. To be a leader, you first have to be a follower. Those guys are the best of the best, and to be the best, you got to learn. I want to win Super Bowls and be up with those guys competing with them. And look, obviously, Aaron's not going to play too much longer, but yeah, this isn't a guy that's going to back down from a Patrick Mahomes. If the Bears ever get on a stage where they play him in a Super Bowl, obviously that would be a dream for that to happen, and we're a long way away from it. But that's how serious he is about this. That's how lofty his goals are. And look, I'm not going to sit here and say like other prospects don't have lofty goals and other prospects don't believe in themselves, but this is a guy who's been getting up at 5:30 in the morning since he was 10, 11 years old with a vision of getting to this point, being a guy who could win a Heisman Trophy in college football, wanting to win a national championship. That goal wasn't reached, but that was a goal he set for himself. Being the number 1 pick, which he's about to accomplish, winning Super Bowls in the NFL. We'll see if he's able to do that. But the point is this guy has had a vision for over a decade now, and he's checked off a lot of these boxes. I mean, did he win a national championship in college? No. Was 7-5 disappointing this past year? Yes. But this guy has done a lot of things and put a lot of work in to get to the level that he has gotten to. And look, do we know if this is going to work out in Chicago? We can't say that with any certainty, but I know this, and there was a report, I think this morning or yesterday, that from Tom Pelissero, kind of doing a deep dive into these quarterbacks, that one thing the Bears wanted was for Caleb to go to a team that's put proper pieces in place for him to go chase that greatness of Super Bowls, Tom Brady. And I would say the Bears have done that, man. They've put themselves in a position to be ready to draft a quarterback and have him be successful. Now, again, that's not a guarantee it'll work, but it gives you a better chance with the infrastructure in place, with a revamped offensive coaching staff, with 2 big-time number 1 receivers, with a good running back room, with a couple of reliable tight ends, with the top 10 defense, with another top 10 pick. Like, you can't say Ryan Poles hasn't done a good job in setting up whoever they bring in here, which is going to be Caleb Williams. And now it's up to Caleb, the rest of the guys on this team, this coaching staff, to get the most out of him and to go chase these goals, to go try and be immortal, which is what he wants. You go back to that interview he did with ESPN's Pete Thamel during the NFL Combine or right before it of, talking about Michael Jordan and Walter Payton and those guys being legends forever in Chicago. Like he wants to be that. Like, yes, he has a lot of personal goals and things going on in his personal life, but the most important thing is this guy wants to win Super Bowls, and this guy wins a Super Bowl in Chicago. He's going to be a legend forever, and he'll probably have a statue outside of, well, not Soldier Field, but whatever the next stadium is, because if he's the quarterback that can help get that done, that's certainly going to be legendary status in Chicago. Some other just small tidbits talking about high school memories. We know about the famous, championship game his sophomore year in high school where he won the game on a Hail Mary. Talked about the craziness of that game. You just listen to the guy talk, and it's like he just exudes confidence. Like he has so much belief in himself. You can tell he cares about his teammates. He's very calculated in what he says. Oh, here's one more thing that I found very, very interesting. And we had kind of known about this, but he kind of opened it up more. So in high school, his parents, when they chose Gonzaga High School college prep or college, high school, whatever that school was, Gonzaga, that he played at, they bought him an apartment or rented an apartment near the high school, and he basically lived on his own. Like his parents stayed in their normal house, and that gave him a lot of freedom. And he talked about that and said, "Yeah, I basically could have done whatever I wanted, and but I knew what the standard was, how my parents raised me, and." We'd go out after games and stuff like that. But when it was time to go, I grabbed my guys and we left, and I stayed on top of things. And the point is like this guy has been, given a lot of freedom and a lot of spotlight since he was like 16, 17 years old. I mean, this guy has been an adult since he was a sophomore, junior in high school. So he's not going to be overwhelmed by the spotlight. Is my point? Is like he has had a lot of distractions. He has had a lot of freedom, and he's been able to handle it all pretty darn well. It doesn't mean it's been perfect. Doesn't mean he's never going to make a mistake or anything like that. But I think you can feel good about this guy coming in here and not being overwhelmed by the fame. He talked about living in SC the past couple of years, the change, or LA the last couple of years, the change from Norman, Oklahoma to that. And he said, "Look, yeah, it's Hollywood, but I didn't go out much. Like that's not really me. I'm pretty low key, and every once in a while we get out and have a good time, but." It wasn't a big change for me because the football was the focus. And I would expect that to be the same with the Chicago Bears. So there you have it. Just kind of wanted to give some of my reaction. And I'm just excited, man. I'm just excited. I'm ready for some on-field work to get here for some OTAs. We'll see how much he does at rookie minicamp and all that stuff. So, it's a new era, and it's going to be exciting to see where this all goes. If you're excited for Caleb Williams to be a Bear, type me down in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We'll have more videos going out this weekend leading up to draft week. 6 days away. Should be a lot of fun. See ya.